to Baltimore Clayworks. We are going to give a little tour through the Flora and Fauna show. For those of you who haven't been able to see the show, which is 99% of you. So we're going to look through, talk about some of the pieces, and just spend a little time together. A little more screen time, more face-to-face. So as you enter, we have some fantastic pieces. We have a teapot by Lorna O'Walt. We have this fantastic vase with some slightly sad flowers by Brian Hopkins. And then Kristen Schoonover's lovely vase has got this little cutout here, so you can put your flowers in this way or at the top. And then this fabulous fiery piece, Dragons of Eden by Andrew Marquis. And it's just, I mean, it lives up to its name. It definitely has that glow to it. As we sort of meander through, so Flora and Fauna was sort of broken into smaller chunks. So one of those chunks is joy contained. So vases or other containers for the, your bountiful garden if you have a green thumb, or a excellent florist like we do. Like we have Bee Willow here in Baltimore. But so we have these beautiful little slip cast colored porcelain vases by Frank Saliani. Another Kristen one, because they play so nicely together. That's the fun part of installing shows, is having artwork by strangers who get along so well. And then as we're going through, we have this lovely tulip vase by Martha Grover. Just such a wonderful way to arrange the flowers, because you have the center and then the offshoots. But just the luscious glaze that mimics botany so well is, even if it's not filled with flowers, it has this joyful exuberance. If you're a sucker for succulents, we have some fantastic planters here by Brooke Noble. Just fun, colorful, very baskety, but also pursy. Not pursy like the man, just purse-like. One of my favorite, hey, it's Cinco de Mayo, this would be great with a margarita. Ashley Bevington's Poodle Cup with the full, beautiful rings. Somebody liked it. And they put a ring on it. Or, if it ain't the one for you, he's a moldy sandwich. Which, some of you probably have some moldy sandwiches in your house right now, because school's been out for how long? And did you check the backpacks? I don't want to know. But if you find something, name it Gerald. We'll see a larger installation of Jessica Knapp's work, but it's just this quiet poetry, this almost, beautiful rhythm with these solid blocks and then these delicate flowers coming out from them. And one of our favorites on the staff is this Leslie Hinton flower vase. Even the flowers are happy. Just this lovely dark chocolatey rich clay with the pops of pink. Kind of has maybe I'm thinking of cake and fondant, but it sounds delicious. If you have smaller containments of joy, for me personally, coffee is a joy, and we have some fantastic cups. Lorna O'Walt kind of goes with her teapot or coffee pot up front. Lynn's work, which I never know if it's Robachia or Robachia, but please forgive me because these are just awesome. Look at these flowers. They seem this one looks a little shell-shocked. It's been inside for a couple of days. Hasn't really seen, too many things, too many people, or you Netflixed everything. But hey, just, grab some stuff and make some art. That's what I say. Mother's Day is coming. This is the perfect gift for your mom, just to show her how much she cares. You care for her and appreciate how she raised you from a young cub.
How much are the mugs?
The mugs, excellent question. This is, this assembled voice. Lynn is 75, Lorna's is 42, and then Leslie's, both the Mama Gorilla And just the strange cacophony of animals happening on this one, you'll never dine alone with this party happening, are 55. And they will hold copious amounts of your favorite beverage, caffeinated or otherwise, because cocktail hour becomes cocktail day during quarantine. If you're feeling like you need some more company, you could get this lovely dish by Sean Ireland and put individual things in them, and then just like have a nibble, and then move around to the table and have a nibble, and it's like you're having a dinner party with yourself. And it just has this lovely little goose or duck on it. It kind of has like a Sankofa, looking backward, thinking, man, maybe I should have bought more toilet paper. As we come around, we're still sort of in the joy contained portion of our show. We have this awesome Kurt Anderson mug, a bug mug. Who doesn't love something that rhymes? Look at all those spots. He's just so happy. It looks like he ate a gumball machine. And then another Lynn mug with this sort of turtle lady, because the pattern looks so nice with the bug mug. In fact, you should get both. $68 and $75, they're worth that. You'll never be unsatisfied staring in deeply into their eyes. We have other containers. Another fantastic architectural vase by Brian Hopkins. Beautiful light orchidy color on this Martha Grover vase that really has that, pitcher plant vibe. Or polka dots. The fabulous and crazy Kurt Anderson and his dog. You might think, is this a dog? Well, he said it's a dog, so, draw what you draw, entitle it, and just, run with it. Own that. Get it.
I feel like we need a laugh track.
A fantastic flower brick by Martha Grover. And you just have these little sections, or maybe you could use it to sort all the mail that's piling up. Beautiful glazes, but you could just picture like green stems and orange Gerber daisy. Other side of the wall, sort of bending the containment part. It's not quite a vase, but all your little treats can go in the sad elephant jar. He's lonely. You know why he's lonely? Because no one has claimed him to take him home. He needs a home. You should take him home. And look, he's not too lonely because he's got a little bird. And a lovely Elvis Pompadour. Also, this Flight of the Flower Thief by Leslie Hinton. Just really playful and almost like a stream of consciousness to her work. But it just has, these are plants that I can't kill, so that would be like the perfect thing for me in my home. And these are great vases by Danny Hawk. She is currently a graduate student at Towson University. She's coloring porcelain, throwing with it, and then cutting out sections and mixing and matching and reassembling. And then these ones are soda fired, so you're getting that nice kind of orange peel, gray texture to it, which kind of like quiets down some of that candy pasteliness. And then if we come into the back room, this is the Animalia show. So these are, it's the fauna of the Flora and Fauna. So we have animal themed artwork. We have these beautiful totemic cat, almost like effigy, they feel like you found them in some ancient tomb, some ancient culture, worship cats. I don't know what that's like at all. By Robin Whiteman. She's in upstate New York. And then Sue Turrell's fantastic, the Australian zoological plate, the Bushfire Collective. Beautiful sgraffito work. She's done such a nice job adding the texture of the fur and the feathers, as well as the clouds and the flames, just to kind of give that richness, but then it also becomes a pattern. It's just really exquisite. You can serve your food off of it, but hey, it looks nice. But why not have a plant you can eat and watch?
Do you know if she did any type of work? I mean, obviously this is an homage to the fires, but has she done other work inspired by that as well for any type of fundraiser or that kind of thing?
I think this was one of the series, like she made a bunch for that series, and some of them she did sell to raise funds, and then she had sort of some extras, and we're lucky enough to have one of those. And again, Mother's Day, look, it's got a little Joey. It's coming up soon. Tell your mom you love her. Over here, another fantastic Leslie Hinton. If you follow our Instagram, this is our Tiger Queen, but it's really, it's talking about, it's a myth about in Korea, it's asking for protection from tigers. But this tiger, this is more of a tiger. And speaking of some glitz and glamour, we also have this sort of quiet, stoic deer by Krista Greco, appropriately titled Nostalgia. It just, just has that sort of faded memory feel to the surfaces, but then you have these little pops, these gemstones of gold luster on its back. This apparently is this is also the room that has just so much glitter in it, because we have the more Leslie Hinton to go with all of it, but you just want to just nuzzle its little nose. I can do this because it's my job. But more elephants, because you don't want to forget things. And how can you forget an elephant that's bedecked in glittery flowers, high-heeled boots, and is carrying a mother on her back? And then this is a beautiful, it's a little wall vase. There's a little hole up top, so you could have a bud in it, or you could also just have it as a decoration. Here's a really lovely piece by Alyssa Chalk. Armadillos, Texas turkeys. But, it's the piece is called Balance, and it kind of has, we definitely are looking for balance in our lives. It just really serves armadillo-ish texture and color and tone. And you can pet its belly too. This is such a fantastic bowl. It even has a handle, so you can hold in one hand and eat out of the other. Sean Ireland's giraffe bowl. It's a very, stoic, regal giraffe. He's like, yes. Another piece that you just want to boop its nose. This is a fantastic one. This is Chelsea's work. Her beautiful bovine. You can get some of her cows and bison in our online shop. They are even better in person. I have two. But just the details of the leather work, but the sensitivity in her handling of the clay and giving it a personality and a soul is just really exquisite, and there's just this gentle intelligence to it. So that's Chelsea Dodd's work. So from Animalia, we are here in the center room. This room is Botany and Designer. So sorry, Michael Collin, if I ripped off your title. This is more of a botanical feature directly like Andrew Marquis. These are inspired by the show about, she's recording the negative space per se, the thing that isn't there, but that you can still see with her artwork. So, you can just, granted they're orange, but just, when you think about sunlight coming through the leaves and paying attention to the shadows that are cast and not just the leaves and the branches. Here we have the larger installation of Jessica Knapp's work. This one is called Aqueous. Always good with the words, that lady. So, it does have that watery flow to it. I love the rigid pattern of the blocks, but then you have that sort of free-flowing, organic randomness of the flowers coming out. Just like when you're walking around sidewalks and you see plants and flowers struggling and thriving in the cracks. It kind of reminds me of that feeling. They could bring a big thing of dirt in, but or their stands to go inside, and they just have this sort of whimsical, almost Dr. Seuss feel to them. But there's still just beautiful colors and patterns and textures, and she's really looking at plants and pollen and distilling down their essence into these joyful shapes. It's kind of like a chive. What is it? Asperones, something like that. Yeah. Photosynthesis, plants. Lovely, again, Jessica Knapp. This one is Exhale, which we all need to remember to do. So you can, it does have a lighter feel. It might be because the blocks are like rectangular and there's more negative space. There's asymmetry to the pattern that she installed it. The flowers are a little bit lighter, but it's just really interesting to see how you can take something, a technique or sort of literal building blocks that are similar, very similar, but they have a totally different feel depending on how they're installed or the glazes are used, or it has this. It really is just like it'd be perfect in your living room to remind you to take a breath. And if you're panting, it's probably because you're looking at Adam Red's work, which is these. I just love these like fatty boba laddies. They are, I can barely lift them, but I just love that they're flowers, but they're just like chunky and massive. They're almost two-dimensional, just cut out of slabs and then arranged. There's a beautiful childlike influence with the colors and the drippiness. They're still flowers, and they're still joyful gardens. And again, for those of us who have black thumbs, some of these sculptures would be perfect because you don't have to feed them or name them or. He's feeling a little Bob-like. Mm-hmm. I feel like Marty might be a smaller one, maybe. Yeah. And then another Jessica Knapp. So beautiful. You have the delicate orangey pinks, very pale, and the blues. But I love the rustic, found sheet of rusty metal, and her seeing the beauty in that. And again, the contrast of the rustic, rusty, sharp edges of the metal has that wabi-sabi feel. The beauty in the world when things seem to be going.
Can you talk about the day when she was here installing that? Because I think that was a really...
So she, thank God, because I don't like straight lines. So Jessica came in and she drove all of her work in from Ohio and then spent the day sort of just mapping it all out. Two nails that you have to get. The same thing with that one. I installed one in the hallway. So it was just a master class in just her methodical, brilliant way of working. Also, it's just, and I love it when the artists do their own install.
So, a question: do you know if she puts labels each block with all the flowers, or does she do it differently every time she installs it?
I don't know if it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think she maybe is just sort of seeing, you can see that there is a light to dark, there's lighter and less, and there's a little more congestion and color as you get to the bottom, kind of like a waterfall would be. But yeah, I don't know. We can find that out.
That would be interesting to know, especially, I think that makes it even different.
Well, yeah, and I'll, depending on your room space or your, we talked before she came to figure out what she needed. But yeah, it's kind of like, or maybe like you want to, purchase it and just rearrange it over time. You probably have the time. And then we sort of have this, which is the biology nerd in me. There's animal and microorganisms. Anyways, so this is animal or plant themed functional wares in here. So another like beautiful Sean Ireland has like a serving boat, or just picture like delicious olives and some of those like fun in New York almonds that are kind of weird and flat and look a little bit like a toenail, but well with the bug mug. There's beautiful, even on a dreary house with Martha's work. We have Lynn's work with this fantastic alligator that it kind of looks like a couch to me, so I just love the idea like that. People from Florida probably experience it all the time. Just alligators chilling on couches, right?
Go Gators.
And then another lovely Sue. Put the mirror there so you can see both sides, but you have the wolf in sheep's clothing, and then you have the sheep, or do you? Dun, dun, dun. But just look at that beautiful, like she's putting multiple, like it's not just gray, it's black with a gray on top, or she's doing multiple colors as the flower and then sgraffitoing through, so you're getting that little bit of halo of the color below it. Just so masterful with her sgraffitoing. And look, you get animals, you get your flora and your fauna in one bowl, and this would hold at least a pint of ice cream. That way you don't have to get up twice from the couch. So related to the rings and moldy sandwiches, we have some more poodles to accompany your breakfast rituals. Lovely little star eyes. This one you can is also great because it can help you communicate with your your current living partner. Are you having a good day, or should they just not talk to you right now? Maybe that way. Communication is important, but this could be a silent little like, need my space right now. But look, poodles. How could you can't have a grumpy day when you're drinking coffee out of poodles. And one of my favorite animals, rhinoceroses, with a little blush, just a little touch of red. Lynn Hobachia or Hobakia, I apologize. But her work just, and she's using a darker clay body and doing a light slip on it. So some of that clay is coming through, some of the underpainting of like these sort of green mountain forms or cacti or something. So there's like, you can see the layers, which is nice because you kind of see the process. You get to see how the artist is thinking and breaking down the planes of, I got this, like this part is part of the design, but, really opaque quality as well. More fantastic Lerner Waltz. I'm hoping that these are flowers from her garden that she just sits and sketches onto her cups, because that just seems like what a joyful place to reside in if you're surrounded by all that beauty and then you're putting it on your beautiful ceramics. And we're going to close out this tour with some Leslie Hinton. A little bit dark with the mushrooms and whatnot coming out of the eyes, but it's a night stroll, so who knows what you see at night. This is also a little vase where you can kind of put some flowers in between like the cats. But like we said, Mother's Day is coming up, and we have this fantastic bowl by Leslie Hinton. It's kind of like bath time, but just a sweet interaction between a mom and her pup.
The outside is beautiful too.
And the outside, I know, that's the beauty of ceramics. It's like, it's decorative, it's functional, there's something all around. It's a party for your eyes and for your fingers because you can just feel all the little nubbins, and you got the nubbins on the outside and you have two-dimensional dots on the inside. It's perfection. And we hope that your life is perfection. And please, donate for Giving Tuesday. You can do it on Instagram, Facebook, or our website, buy gift cards for your friends so that you could come and have a class together. There's so many ways that even if we can't be socially present, that we can still be emotionally present. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.